Welcome to a full tutorial for the second version of QCut Studio. Today I show you how to get from a full evening of recordings to a finished multicam clips and sets with QCut and explain all the settings and possibilities along the way. We'll go over how to set up your timelines, the Resolve and Premiere connection, the workflow from start to finish, the custom settings tab and the new helper tab. First, make sure you have at least Premiere 2026 installed. After opening QCut Studio, switch to Premiere in the Input tab. You should be prompted with a pop-up. Click Open Installer. This should open Creative Cloud, which will take you through the installation process. After installing your plugin, you should be able to find it in Premiere under Window UXP Plugins. Start it and hit Connect. In both Premiere and Resolve, timeline preparation works the same way. Create a new timeline, give it a good name to keep everything organized, put all clips from each camera onto one video track, then place your audio recording underneath them. In QCut, hit Connect. We can now go to the synchronization. If you use timecode for the recording, select timecode, otherwise just leave it on audio. Select the track your recording is on. This will be the last track by default. Then hit sync. After QCut has finished syncing, it may ask you if you want to correct clock drift. Clocks and cameras can drift apart and cause videos and especially audio to noticeably drift out of sync. If you hit fix, QCut will try to correct this by cutting out the frame every few minutes. After that, you'll be able to see a new, completely synced timeline in your editing software. If the report gives you any clips to check, see if they look correct to you. This is also the place to make property adjustment to your clips and do your color grades. If you're using Resolve and want to export as multicam clips, I'll explain more about that in the Export tab. Wait with color grading until after the export. You can also move clips around if anything looks off to you, and then click Changes Done. If you recorded more than one DJ set, we recommend using QCut's Divide into Sets workflow. QCut will analyze the audio for silence breaks and mark them on your current timeline. You can then move, add or delete the markers so that every marker is exactly where a new DJ starts playing. Hit Divide and QCut will create new DJ timelines. You see a new drop-down appear at the top left, where you can quickly switch between the DJ timelines while keeping all your settings. Camera settings. In the Camera Settings tab, you can give each camera a name so you can identify them more easily in the later settings. You can choose their camera type so QCut can give you preference recommendations and repeat similar looking camera transitions less often. You can also completely disable cameras from the edit. With the camera weights, you set how often a camera will be shown. This is one of the most important settings for getting a good looking edit. You can see some rough recommendation by clicking Recommend, as long as you've set the camera types correctly. Audio tab. In the Audio tab, choose the genre that fits your music best. Choose the track of your recording and hit Analyze. After a few seconds, you see the detected drops. With the Detected Drops button, a new window will open where you can listen to the audio, move incorrect drops, add new ones or delete them. In the new audio mixer, you can listen to the individual audio tracks, delete the tracks you don't want in your finished mix, normalize them correctly or even do some basic mixing. Cut tab. The new Cut tab gives you fast and easy to control settings for changing how the edit feels. You can choose how fast the cuts should be around drops and outside drops, and how predictable or random the cuts should look. A higher randomness value will create more variation in clip length and also start cutting on different positions inside the beat grid. We'll also show you how to tune these settings yourself in the Custom tab later in this video. With Show on Drop, you can choose which camera should be switched to when the drop hits. You can choose multiple cameras here and change their order. QCut will always cut to the highest priority camera that was recording at that time. So for example, if you have a handheld camera that you would like to show on drops, but it didn't record the whole evening, you can set a backup camera that will be shown on the drops where the handheld camera wasn't recording. The Effects tab. In the Effects tab, you can control zoom effects. The mode determines how the zoom looks. Static means that the zoom will have the same speed regardless of the clip length. Dynamic will zoom the same amount on every clip, so the zoom will become faster on shorter clips. In and out control whether the zoom should zoom in, zoom out, or randomly do either one. Timing controls when the zooms are seen. Around drops, for example, will make the zoom intensity stronger as you get closer to the drop and make it disappear outside of drops. If you're using Resolve, you can also add some fusion effects. For example, you can add a zoom or shake on the drop or shakes after the drop or even on beats. The Export tab. Set. To export a whole set, choose Set. Choose whether you want it vertical or horizontal and hit Export. In Resolve, zoom effects will be made with Fusion and scale correctly with edits you make afterwards. In Premiere, zooms are fixed with keyframes. You can make further cuts and adjustment to the edit, then hit Redo Zooms. QCut will re-import the timeline with corrected zooms around your edit. The re-importation can take some time. Clip Export. Choose clips. You can then enter the number of clips you want. You can also choose specific moments. This will create a temporary timeline with one camera of your choice, where you can see the drops as markers around which QCut would export clips. You can delete, add or move the markers around. Then hit OK. QCut will use each of your markers as the midpoint of one clip. You can then change the length of your clips and where inside the clip the selected markers or detected drops should be positioned. If you're using Resolve, you'll also see the option to choose between cuts and MultiCam. Cuts will export a flattened timeline, while MultiCam will export the cuts inside the familiar MultiCam clips, so you can smoothly continue working with the edits. If you choose MultiCam, Resolve will re-import one MultiCam clip per export. You'll later have to color grade inside each of these manually. Copying grades inside MultiCam clips or reusing the same MultiCam clip is sadly not possible for us till now. After exporting, QCut will pause before compounding the clips. You can make further edits now and especially make sure to mix down or delete all audio you later don't want to hear. Muting an audio will not be enough here. Then click Compound Clips and QCut will make everything ready for a direct export. The new Helper tab is made to simplify workflows and help you out even if you want to edit manually. The coolest feature here is the beat grid marker helper. Here we mark the recorded audio with our analyzed beat grid and transform your timeline into a beat grid based timeline where every move or trim snaps to the next bar, half bar or beat. You can also mark the drops on the timeline, let us cut out areas around the drops and then recompound them after you finish your edit. Custom settings. In the Custom Camera tab you can change the frequency of selection for each camera. The difference compared to the camera weight above is that this setting has no influence on how long the clips from each camera are. With the edge cutoff, you can make sure that a specific number of seconds from the start and end of each clip are not shown. This is useful for handheld clips, where you often point away too early or reach the subject too late. In the Custom Cut tab, you have full control over our cut engine. For around drops and outside drops separately, you can change what percentage of the cuts should land on the first beat, how many should land on the third beat, and how many should land on the second and fourth beats of a musical bar. You can change the target shot length either for all cameras or for each camera individually and control how much it should vary between different clips. You can also shape the curves QCut uses to determine how early before a drop the cuts should start getting faster and when this effect should fade away again. That's it. If you've got any questions or need any help tuning the settings to fit your style, you can join our Discord, leave a comment or reach us on Instagram. Every new idea or problem you guys give us will make QCut even better. Thanks.